The last 3 months of my life have been insane. Now, 5 years ago, my wife and I left YouTube and we started creating a feature film. In the last week, not only have we become award-winning writer, director, producers of a feature film, but we are actually coming back to YouTube to start something brand new. So if you are a previous subscriber, a fan of my stuff, this is my life update and it's going to get real. Yeah, and seriously, it means everything to me that this video gets seen. Look, and I'll explain why. But most importantly, if you have a creative project, you watching this video have a creative project that you've been meaning to start and haven't, this is your video. And if you have no clue who I am.
Hi, I'm Boston McConaughey. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a director, husband, father. I produced a feature film called Alien Country.
Aliens! We're being invaded!
Come on! Run!
Oh yeah, Alien Country. We're gonna go there, but before that, we're gonna talk about my formula. This video is gonna explain the decode, what I do and what I've been able to do to be a successful creator in today's insane world. Because it ain't easy, but there's a way to do it. My goal is to give you the creative boost you need to go and do that creative thing you've been dreaming. And chances are, what you're planning on doing is far less complicated, irrational, illogical, and insane than what I've spent the last 4 years of my life doing.
But we as humans just need to embrace how we connect with one another, and that's through story and creativity. Great, so now that I've obviously solved all of the world's problems by explaining all we need is creativity, blah, 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 let's get into the actual video.
So full disclosure, this video is a lot. It's one part life update, one part creative pep talk, and one part emotional roller coaster. I'm Renny, writer, producer, and actress, and this is my partner, Boston, and I'm gonna let him take it from here.
Now I'm making a huge announcement to the world. It's not gonna be a shock to many of my subscribers and friends and family. This is something that I truly believe is the key to any creator having success with their own art online, on the internet. It's not a great system. It just isn't. The way social media is set up, it is not set up to really help creators connect directly with other humans. And that's a shame, and I think there's people trying to fix it, but ultimately when it comes to commerce, companies will follow dollars and cents, they won't follow human connection, which is okay.
It has taken me a very long time to navigate how to be a successful online creator, which is different than being a filmmaker and director.
I created a formula for myself that I called ARC, the ARC formula. At the risk of sounding like one of those annoying self-help talk people, it's just a pretty simple acronym for art, reason, craft. ARC! So creative! See, it spells art. That's it. Art, reason, craft. That spells art? Those are the three things we end up talking about on social media, online, anywhere else, when we are creators creating unique pieces of art. But what does this really mean? And why is it important not to abandon any one of these three principles when you are a filmmaker, or a digital artist who wants to connect with people online? Well, the ultimate reason is there is the thing that you're making, and that is your art. I used to just think when I was starting out as a creative that I could just share my art and that should be enough, but it's not. And it's not that it's just not enough for the world, it's not enough for me. And maybe you're the same, maybe you're different, but you spend this time creating this work, this piece, this thing you want to share. It has a story, it has themes, it has ideas, and you want to express that, right? Let's take the example of my feature film, and that's Alien Country.
Aliens! We're being invaded!
Who's coming? Jimmy, what's happening?
It's the story of Jimmy Walker and Everly Baker, a couple that live in the middle of the modern American desert, and they find out that they have an unplanned pregnancy on their hands, and that sends their relationship instantly into a free fall. Will they, won't they?
Can they, can't they?
But luckily, there's an alien invasion.
Aliens!
Come on! Run!
Right, exactly.
Asking the age-old question.
If love conquers all, how does it stack up in a no-holds-barred arena battle against biologically engineered alien monsters?
There.
Alien Country is a unique story. It's a unique idea. It's a unique world.
It's 97 minutes and it took us over 4 years to make and finally release into the world. So coming back to this ARC formula.
There is the thing that you're making. So that's the art. What we need to do is take a step beyond just creating the art and talk about the reason we created it. What's going on inside of the mind of the creator? There is a reason.
Now, I have found the reasons that I'm a creator or the reasons I'm creating a specific piece of art have changed over time. At first, my reasons for creating Alien Country was just to capture and create magic.
I wanted to share a unique culture that I experienced exploring the red rock canyons of the Southwest American desert, learning to canyoneer and go hiking and camping and all these cool things, and to experience the beauty and the grandeur of the American West.
So a lot of people say, like, how do you come up with your greatest ideas? Well,
You just gotta find a way to find some inspiration.
Yeah, it's the Rockies.
Just kidding. The movie itself explores this world. It explores these fantastic characters, things about alien lore, alien history, questions about what UFOs are. But it also explores the culture of the Southwest or the Intermountain Western United States. Demolition derbies, old Western bars, camping and canyoneering. All of the things you experience when you just sit and absorb the grandeur of what it is to live in the American desert. And that's something that's really authentically personal to me.
And then I keep talking as I keep hiking, and I think, whew.
The process of creating a piece of art may be incredibly long. In fact, creating a feature film takes so long that my reasons for creating Alien Country just started to evolve and change.
So Alien Country for me has a long story. The first completed draft of what became Alien Country was done in 2014. Okay, that's now 10 years ago. And that came at a very interesting time. I had met the love of my life, Renny Grames. And so much of it at the beginning was about a guy trying to win over a girl. And as Renny and I got married, Alien Country took on this dynamic of what does it take to hold tight and fast to the ones you love, ones that you're in a relationship with already. Because any two amateurs can fall in love. It takes a real pro to stay in love. So when crafting a story about a couple that has already had their meet cute probably 10 years ago, what's the way of creating a romantic story about a couple that's in the next phase of life? So naturally their meet cute became discovering that they were going to be parents. And in a lot of ways, the characters were autobiographical. Jimmy Walker is very much an incarnation of where I was at, and my wife Renny, who plays Everly Baker, it is a autobiographic story of her facing the fears of, can I actually realize my dreams as an entertainer, as a performer, as an actress, and be a mother? Is that even possible?
So I wrote and played this character, Everly Baker, and she definitely became a reflection of my real life fears, which was, can I pursue my dreams and still be a mom? This film has pushed me to believe and proved that I can do both and has made me stronger for it.
Not only is Everly able to confront that idea, but at the time we were making this film, we got pregnant, we had a baby.
So it's just crazy to think that like before we made this movie, there was no child in my life, and now we finished this film and I can't imagine my life without her.
And so this film is a realization in the film of Everly's dream and outside of the film of Renny's dream. And I wanted to tell a story that has creatures in it. I love the awe-inspiring creatures, alien monsters.
And I want to talk about all of those.
Now that's the reason. But a step beyond that is the craft. One of the reasons I made a feature film was actually I had started a YouTube channel, and in 2018, YouTube completely changed their mandate and what they were doing. They went from being a platform with general entertainment to being a search engine, which also meant they served out more educational content. At the time, we had made our bread and butter making action-packed sci-fi sketch comedy. If you're watching this on YouTube, this was the channel. I think we hit almost 140,000 subscribers, people who wanted to watch sci-fi action comedy shorts. But literally with a couple lines of code, or maybe a million lines of code, I don't know, our entire business model failed. I kept posting content that was the same type of content that we had been making for 6-7 years, and it wouldn't get viewed at all, it wouldn't get served up. But then I started posting the behind the scenes videos, and those started exploding, which made me realize two things. One, I actually like sharing the craft of what I'm doing. It helps other people who want to learn, but it also just is a cool thing to be able to express. And so Renny and I started an online film school called Indie Film School, and we wanted to show the process of making our entire feature film. Turns out, vlogging and running a film school and making a feature film are both two full-time jobs, and neither of them necessarily pay you up front. But regardless, throughout the entire process, writing, pre-production, post-production, marketing, distribution, we have vlogged and recorded content that is literally sitting on 20 terabytes worth of hard drive space in my house. I have started creating so much content about how I made this feature film, and I just want to share that with the world. Because as a kid, watching Peter Jackson's documentaries about the Lord of the Rings and watching the Wachowskis show how they made the Matrix and the Matrix sequels, that completely changed my perspective on what was possible for me as a filmmaker. And I want to pay that forward, and I want to give that to the world. Nap time. Up until the last couple of months, I have never felt like sharing my creative process online was something I needed to do, had to do. There was this imperative. But because of the mental health crisis that I have experienced over the last 3-4 months, that has completely changed. Okay, so this story's got some drama, also got trauma. It has some trauma. And hopefully you don't end up with drama. Ooh, mama, you're welcome. Now, before I say anything else, I want to focus on the reason especially that this video might take a little bit of a crazy turn. As I've been preparing to release my feature film Alien Country, I have gone through an unbelievable mental health crisis. 18 years ago, I served as a Mormon missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Japan. During that process, I was assigned to live with a companion missionary, my companion. This particular person had severe mental illness. They were likely bipolar. I feared for my life every day. They were angry. They were violent. They were never physically violent with me. And that was actually one of the hardest things because there was no way I could prove to the people around me I was reaching out to for help that I was in danger. The severity of this period of my life, I didn't realize was as catastrophic as it was, but I carried this trauma with me for 18 years. The reason I carried it is I buried it. But a couple of months ago, I was getting ready to launch Alien Country into the world, and the level of stress I was experiencing was unfathomable.
My mental state is awful. I'm just at wit's end, completely exhausted.
Luckily, I was able to get help, go to therapy. I started to recognize I had one of the biggest problems that a lot of creators have: perfectionism. Because when I was with this person, I wanted to do everything in my power to just do whatever they want so I wouldn't be hurt. And I wanted to do that perfectly, which is, something I teach you as a missionary. You can't be perfect, but you can have perfect obedience. In retrospect, not a great lesson when you're living with a sociopath. And at the end of the day, they were just in pain. He was just mentally ill. But the most important thing here is that when I came to the moment that I recognized I was a survivor of complex PTSD, it came when I was trying to create and launch the most epic, awesome art creative project I have ever done in my life. 4 years, weeks and weeks of filming, years of production, over 450 visual effects shots, 250 of them I did myself in a room by myself while rocking my baby girl.
Christmas time, and we are finishing our movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm not tired at all.
Every time you do something creative in your life, you get positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement. And when the negative reinforcement is incredibly destructive, you might develop a false belief, like, I'm not good enough. My art's not good enough. And that's what I believe about myself. That might not be your particular problem as a creator. If you suffer from perfectionism, then that might be very much in line with the narrative that you feel, because that was the narrative I felt for 18 years. But I didn't just take it into my film, I took it into my day-to-day life. I took it into my marriage, and it finally broke when I took that into being a father. Because she's perfect. And then realize I was that for my mom and my dad.
You rebel.
My dog heard me crying and she decided to come and be an emotional support animal. I understand if you need to click away, I got really vulnerable there. But that's the reality. When I had a kid, I recontextualized my entire life and realized that I can't look at myself the way I've been looking at myself. I can't look at my art the way I've been looking at my art.
We have arrived. We're lit. The sun is up. Shot 1 is ready. Joey, take your breath. We're gonna have our actors come in, we're gonna rehearse it, and we're gonna make a movie. And action.
First of all, there is no such thing truly as perfection in art. As soon as you get out of the pathway of perfection, you can stand in something great.
And cut.
And that's what I want to express to the creative world. The weight that it took to deliver this film and at the same time be a first-time father was enough that I could not continue on with my negative self-beliefs.
Are we making movies in the garage?
I had to face my trauma. I had to face my lack of self-worth. I would not be able to share Alien Country with the world unless I threw away this piece of my false belief, this perfectionism, what was not me.
Oh yeah.
Everything about making movies is ridiculous.
I tackled my trauma, and it came at a point when literally I was launching this film I'd been working on for 4 years into the world. PTSD, it's a crafty little bugger. Oh boy, yeah. Filmmaking is a beautiful art form, and it's beautiful because you can't do it alone. You need the support of dozens, hundreds, thousands of people to make the best films in the world. I feel like in a way, as a filmmaker, it's a little bit easier to ask for support because I need support. What I'm building right now, what Alien Country is the beginning of for me, is the beginning of creating fantastic, original, creative stories. Aliens! That is what I want to do. I want to create a company, create a machine that allows for any dream that me or my friends and my collaborators make up can just be turned into reality, because we have the resources and the engine and the team around us to do it. So that's why this video is so important to me, is we need to find the people who want to come along, who want to join us for that ride, who want to create with us.
Because that has been my experience. The people I work with now are people that I have met through the internet, online. And I honestly believe that that is how we are going to build a team that kind of survives the next wave of whatever film and cinema becomes. You and me, we are going to make movies, okay? And that's not content, that's not clickbait, that is cinema. And it's not a hollow promise. If everyone in the Hollywood industry tried it this way, found people, said, come along for the ride, watch us, watch our rough cuts, give feedback, let's collaborate together, I honestly think the cinematic world would change. So that's my hope, that's my goal, and it could fall completely on its face and not work out at all, and that might be just fun to strap in and try anyway.
That's what fandom is all about, is saying, here's a story, what do you think? And the world coming back and saying, this is cool, that's cool, and starting to build this connection with people who just love what you're creating, or to find people to actually collaborate with who say, I've got a story, I want to make this, I want to learn how to make this. And so ultimately what Renny and I have been building, and what I have wanted to build since I got out of film school, was a full studio production engine that can make this thing happen. And the reality is, we can start small. We can start as small as we want and just start prototyping and iterating. And that's all Alien Country is. It's a prototype. It's an idea. It's the beginning.
Alien Country is out now. You can actually check it out. It's available with not only the movie and the special features, but we have a game that you can play with your friends and family, and a handbook with a bunch of behind-the-scenes stories, but also activities that you can do to throw your own alien-themed party with glow-in-the-dark food and a bunch of other cool stuff. So go out and get your copy of the Alien Country All-in-One Party Kit. But the other thing that's really cool and worth mentioning is we are developing the next movie. And we're gonna announce it very soon, in the next few weeks and months, as we start building momentum, get our attachments, and make the whole thing happen. This time around, I want to do it the way I wanted to do Alien Country. I want to have regular updates and include our film community as we make the film step by step by step all along the way. So join us for that, because I want to make a movie